What does a charge off account mean and how does it affect you? Hey guys, it's Mortgage Mel and it's time for today's Mortgage Minute. Last week we talked a little bit about account balances that show up on your credit report that aren't paid. They may have been there for a bit. And we're going to talk a little bit more about how those affect you and whether you're responsible for them or not. After months of non-payment, creditors usually just give up, right? They think, okay, this person's never going to pay. They close down the account and they call it a charge off. Sometimes it's called a charge off, sometimes it's sent to collections, sometimes it's just left alone, but it will show up on your credit report and it will affect your credit score. So this is a no judgment zone. This isn't to make anybody feel bad. This is just to help you understand what this means for your credit report and also what it means for you going forward. In my business for mortgage loans, when you want additional debt and you haven't paid other debt off, it will affect whether you can get approved for a mortgage. Now, these accounts can be all sorts of things. Typically, they're credit cards, but they can also be other types of accounts. So, for example, I've seen one that was just somebody bought furniture and didn't finish paying for the furniture. And so it was the furniture company that had charged off the account. It will continue to be reported as unpaid with a balance due until it's either been paid or it's been settled or it's been sold to a collection agency. Once it's been sold to a collection agency, it becomes a collection. And that still shows up on your credit report as a collection. And so it still shows up as money that you owe. One of the better ways of taking care of these is to contact the creditor directly and try and work out some sort of deal. Often you can pay overtime and you can pay less than the amount that you actually owe. They're just happy to get something. But once it goes to a collection agency, those collections will also show up on your credit report and they'll also continue to count against you. So how long are these going to stay on your credit report? They're going to stay up to 7 years, just like anything else that's negative on your credit report. Unless you take care of them, they will just sit there and they will continue to hurt your credit score, but they will also preclude you from getting other debt. So for example, if you want to buy a car, it might make it difficult for that. If you want to try and buy a house, when you have these charge off or collection accounts, it's going to be problematic for you to get additional credit. Now, just paying this off doesn't necessarily remove it from your report. So I definitely recommend contacting the creditor to make sure that you negotiate some sort of agreement that at the end they will be taking that off of your report. Otherwise, it'll just show as a zero balance but continue to hurt your credit score as a derogatory account. Stay tuned for part 2, guys. We'll talk a little bit more about what your goals are and then what the strategy is as it applies to those specific goals. I hope you guys have a great day. If you like this content, give me a like and a follow.